In this video, I'd like to go over how to write an equation for a proportional table. Okay, so let's get right to it. During her last shift at the supermarket, Juliet saw a pricing list for Apple Jacks shown on the table. The cost of the cereal boxes, represented by Y, is proportional to the number of boxes purchased, represented by X. Write an equation that could be used to determine the cost of the cereal boxes given the number purchased. All right, so a little bit to unpack right here, but let's start with some of the things that we definitely need to know, right? So your job is to write an equation, okay? What's helpful for us to write an equation in this case is simple. Y is proportional to X, okay? So those things that I just underlined are important because it tells you that you have a rate, okay, and it's going to be written like this because y is proportional to x. Okay, so it already tells us that the cost is y. So when I look at my table here, I like to write a little y right here so I remember that that's what it is, and x over here. So as I'm calculating, I don't get them mixed up. All right, so next is I'm going to definitely need the constant of proportionality or the unit cost. So this is also called K for us. Okay, and if we look at each column and you follow suit and you write Y over K, what you're going to end up with is 854 over 2. You're going to end up with 1708 over here over 2. And you're going to end up with 2989 over 7. I'm sorry, this should have been 4 over here. So apologies on my end. So you go into your calculator, right? And you type in 854 divided by 2, and that gives you 427. Okay? If you do that for each one of these, you're going to get 427 because it's a proportional table. So that's how you know that all of these are going to be the same. So that is K in our equation, okay? So now I'm going to write 427 right where K would be, right? And what I want you to keep in mind is that this is supposed to be equal to Y over X, all right? So given some mathematical properties where you can go ahead and multiply both sides by X, okay? What ends up happening is you're going to have this over 1, okay? And what you're going to get if you use the commutative property, okay, is you're going to end up with y over 1 times x over x, which if you look at it, x over x is going to be 1, and you're going to end up with 427x, right? So what I can do at this point is cross out this, and what I end up with, my new equation is y, because y over 1 is just y, equals 4.27x. So in the future, now that you know why that happens, if you have this, right, all you have to do is take the denominator here and write it over there. So you have to understand that the calculations I just did is the reason why you end up with that. But a quick shortcut, once you do understand it, is you can just move the x over to that side and that will be your equation. So the answer to what we have there is y equals $4.27 times x. And remember, if you're reading this right, y is the cost. So the cost equals 427, and then x is the number of boxes. So the number of boxes times $4.27 will give you the cost. That's what that represents. Okay.